All right, well, hey everyone, thank you so much for joining me as we transform our living room today. So we've been living here for about 2 months now, and when we moved in, the space really was an empty blank canvas. It's a new build home that we're living in, and so it was kind of missing a lot of the personality and character that you can see in older homes, and so I really wanted to inject a little bit more character into this space. So right now we're about halfway through the process. We have a lot of the bigger pieces in place, but today I really want to kind of finish it off and really add our personal style to this area. But before we get to the finishing touches and the styling, I want to walk you through kind of how we got to where we are today. So I'm excited to dive right into this. If you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button below. Let's dive right in. Okay, so let's rewind a couple of months. When we first moved in, the walls in this space were this like basic builder beige, which was personally not my thing. So the first thing we set about doing before we even moved in was painting our walls. So for our main living area, including our living room, we actually had professional painters do that before we even moved in, just to remove one less task for us to do when we moved. So by the time we moved everything in, it was all this beautiful, nice white. We love the fact that we went with that color. Our next task though was then to go about filling the space. And as this was our first home, a lot of our pre-existing furniture was kind of apartment size. It was all smaller than really felt natural in the space that we're in now. So before even moving, we knew that there were going to be some things that we wanted to swap out, to add, or to upgrade. So after unpacking everything and getting everything that we had out, we started there. And before we go any further, I think it's important for me to clarify, I'm not the kind of person who immediately says, okay, I want something new, so let me immediately get rid of whatever I had before and find the kind of like first possible solution that meets some of the criteria that I have. I'm kind of picky, but hopefully it's in a good way. I like to really intentionally curate spaces and to only buy things when I find the perfect replacement for what I have currently. And so yes, this can be a bit of a longer process as I wait to find exactly what I kind of envision for a space. But the result of that is I'll usually end up finding pieces that I love and that are gonna last us for years. So when we moved, I didn't get rid of anything immediately. We stuck with what we had for the time being, but I started searching for those pieces that were really going to take our space to the next level. And immediately I knew that there were a few main pieces that we needed. And that's usually the approach I like to take, is finding the bigger pieces first and then filling in with the decor afterwards. But one of the first things on our list and the first thing that we found was a nice big area rug. When we first moved in, the space was incredibly echoey and the living room kind of lacked definition. I love the fact that our house has a really open floor plan, but even in an open floor plan, I think it's important to create defined spaces for various activities. So I knew that a large living room rug was going to make a huge difference in really defining space. So we ordered the rug and it came, and immediately it just fit this space so well. It's kind of this combination of a neutral color mixed with a more beige color, and I love it because it's a light colored rug that really kind of brightens up the space, but at the same time, because of the texture and just the way that it's woven, it doesn't feel like stark white, and it has a very like neutral, earthy kind of vibe to it, which I love. So we were really happy with the rug, but the next, something that Christopher was pretty dead set on wanting was floating shelves for the living room. And since I thought they'd add a nice touch too, we decided to go about finding some, but finding the right floating shelves actually proved to be quite difficult. We wanted the shelves to be in a natural wood color, close to walnut, so it would match with some of the other wood items that we had throughout our house. And honestly, I spent a while weighing out different options, but finally we settled on these really gorgeous reclaimed wood shelves from West Elm. I think it's really cool that they're made out of reclaimed wood, so they have a lot of texture and kind of character to them. And they also have a nice like chunkiness to them that gives this kind of feeling of substance and height to our living room. And Christopher did a fantastic job installing them too. Apparently I lucked out when I got married in finding someone who loves assembling furniture, so he's helped me with most of this along the way. Then the last two big furniture pieces that we added to the space actually came at once. I came across this really cool brand called CASTLERY, and their furniture has this great mid-century modern vibe to it. And so when I was on their website, I just immediately fell in love and quickly was able to find the two perfect pieces of furniture for the last two items that we were looking to swap out. And full disclosure, they did very kindly send us these furniture pieces free of charge, which we're incredibly grateful for. But the first item we got is this gorgeous sideboard. And getting a large sideboard was something that I knew that I wanted to get for our house ever since we first moved in. As soon as you enter this house, we have this large blank wall that was completely empty, and I knew that I wanted to fill that space with a piece of furniture that was going to be functional for us, but that would also make a statement. And this Lily sideboard most certainly does that. It has this incredible mid-century style to it and just gives off such a cool vibe. I'm completely in love. And the cool thing about it too is that it was so easy to put together. Literally all Christopher had to do was to screw the legs onto the bottom of the sideboard, and then it was good to go. It was mostly pre-assembled, but it really is such an elegant piece, and I love how it comes with lots of storage too. We haven't decided exactly what we're going to put in it yet, but I think it's probably going to end up housing either our art supplies or our board games. Regardless of what we decide to put in it though, this is one of those high quality statement pieces that I know we're going to have for years. So we were thrilled with that sideboard alone, and it was already a huge upgrade from what we had at our apartment. Does anybody remember that little rolling cart that we used to put our keys on? This I like a lot better and definitely feels more my style. But then we were also really excited too with the second piece that we received from them, and that was this Luca TV stand. And this one again was a much needed upgrade on what we had before, which is kind of this like college looking TV stand, or that's how it felt to me at least. It was one of those basic items that had no real personality or character. It was just kind of like there. But where that old TV stand didn't really have any character, this one has it in abundance. Again, I love the mid-century style of this one, and it actually came fully assembled too, which is so nice. We literally just had to carry it over to our living room and we were good to go. But what's cool about it too is that it actually has sliding doors, so we were really easily able to hide our remotes and our PS4 from view while still being able to use them functionally because of the wood slats that it has at the front. So both of these pieces really are stunning, and I'm excited to take them with us into the future. They really do follow in the line of the goal of CASTLERY's furniture of looking good, being fairly priced, and being designed to last. So we loved both of those pieces, and if you want to check them out or any of the other items that I mentioned today, I'll have everything linked for you in the description box below. But those were the main furniture pieces we got. We did try getting a coffee table from World Market, but it didn't end up working out, so we're sticking with the one that we have currently for now. But then there were two other big things we got that required a bit of an install. First off was this mirror that we got, and I actually bought this before we even moved into our current house. But when I knew that we were going to be moving soon and I stumbled across this mirror, I immediately decided to pick it up because I knew it would be the perfect mirror by our entry. And I don't know about you, but I always feel slightly reassured by having a mirror by the door, just so you can kind of check to make sure you don't have anything crazy going on with your face before you get the door. It's just one of those little reassurances, but I do really like how it complements the sideboard. But then something else we got, and a piece that I feel like added so much character to our space, was a chandelier. And I'll be honest, right now, this thing was a challenge to put together. It probably took a couple of hours, but I will say I think that it was worth it in the end. Honestly, I don't even know how to describe it besides it being a tiered chandelier. It has these like individual frosted glass panels that just give it such a cool look and a feel. And since we were literally going from no light to that, I really do feel like it just made an incredible world of difference. So all of this has really happened over the course of about 2 months ever since we moved in, but we are finally caught up. So right now we're going to go over to my counter where I have all of the supplies that we need laid out so that we can get to styling. Okay, so here's what we're looking at. We have some pillows, a blanket, a whole bunch of plants. You guys know how much I love plants, so there were sure to be quite a few here. This is one of the projects that I want to do. I have quite a few empty frames here, and I want to frame some of Christopher and I's art. So I have a couple of my watercolor paintings here, and then Christopher has, I think this was acrylic, and then this was literally just Sharpies. But I want to frame some of our pictures just to give them a bit more of a polished feel. Then I have a couple of other already framed pieces here. This is from our wedding. And then that was done by Maddie Bowman Art. She has an amazing Etsy shop. And then over here we just have some random decor pieces. Honestly, I'm not much one for miscellaneous decor. I don't really collect it, so I just looked for things that we had about our house. So this is a really cute little teapot that I use for tea sometimes, but I figure we can display it when it's not in use. My watering can, it's pretty beautiful, so I feel like we can display that. Some candles, my coasters, a few books, and then our remote's little jar is there. And then some flowers. I also want to arrange these. I got them at the store the other day, but I figured that some fresh blooms by our entryway door would look nice. Okay, so I think I'm going to start off with putting out and styling the pillows and blanket, and then we can move on to framing the art. So this first part was pretty simple, just a matter of putting out the throw pillows and blanket and giving all the pillows a little karate chop. Next, I moved on to framing the art pieces, and I found that they actually fit better if I removed the glass, especially from the canvas pieces. So I did that and just put the new pictures in their frames. This is a really easy way to elevate any pieces of art that you might have done yourself or bought without a frame. And then I moved on to arranging the flowers. First I cut them all to size, and then starting with the greenery, I began filling out the vase and really just trying to disperse things evenly so that the arrangement would look as full and as beautiful as possible. Okay, so the pictures are framed, the flowers are arranged, and the last thing left to us is to start styling. So what I'm going to do is start off with the floating shelves behind me, and then we'll move on to doing the sideboard and the TV stand and our coffee table. When it comes to styling different areas in my house, I really like incorporating a combination of textures, heights, and colors. Plus, I love incorporating natural elements, so you'll notice that in pretty much every space that I decorated, I incorporated some kind of plant. I feel like this is an easy way that you can keep decorating simple while still adding a lot of visual interest and character to the area. And there really is no secret formula to how I decorated this space. I really just tried to mix and match pieces in a way that felt natural. There definitely is an element of trial and error involved in any type of decorating. So if you're decorating a space yourself, don't feel afraid to play around with it. All right, well, we're done, and I have to say I am so excited with how this came out. I love that we've kept this space fairly simple while infusing it with some gorgeous neutrals and different tones and textures. I'm a big plant lover too, so I love that we've infused them into this space, and overall I really feel like our living room really does just have so much more personality and character to it than it did before. It's a space that feels warm and inviting and cozy, and it's a place that I really want to spend time in and invite others into as well, which honestly was my goal in all of this. And I especially love the transformation that's taken place with our entryway too. Before, you just had this large blank wall and there was nothing particularly special about it, and it definitely kind of didn't make a statement. If anything, it was kind of standoffish. But now I feel like that sideboard in that area really just kind of set the tone for the house. As soon as you walk through the doors, you're greeted with this like simple, beautiful, and just kind of like natural, organic, and inviting space. So thank you all so much for coming along with me for this living room transformation. Now I want to know though, what was your favorite part? For me, I think it's probably the fact that we just infused plants throughout the entire space. But be sure to comment that down below, and don't forget that if you were interested in anything that I shared in today's video, I know I always get questions about this kind of thing, I'll have everything linked up for you in the description box below, so you can just check that out there. But I hope you enjoyed coming along with me today, and if you did and you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button below for more simple and intentional living videos coming at you twice a week. And don't forget, if you want additional inspiration and updates, you can always follow me on Instagram. I'm at ashlyn.eaton on there, and I'd love to have you join me. That's everything for today's video, though. Thank you all so much for watching and for coming along with me. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.